My least comfortable video yet. Welcome back and thanks for being here. My name is Scott and today I'm going to talk about my cooling fans for my equipment area. I get asked a lot whether or not heat buildup in my equipment area is a concern. The equipment is under the trunk floor and there's not a whole lot of space back there. I forgot to do the math before shooting the video, but I think it's about a cubic foot with all of that equipment in there. I have about 3 inches of clearance, and when I did the math without including the equipment. So I will include a real number up here in the corner for you to check out. It is not much. And so it's amazing that I don't have excessive heat buildup in there. I did a torture test during the summer, and nobody ever does this. I basically transmitted with my VHF transmitter at high power for 90 continuous minutes. And that's how long it took without ventilation for that transceiver to get hot enough to pull power back. It didn't shut down, it just reduced power from 50 watts down to 20 or so. Nobody operates like that, and so I think that I'm safe, but I still wanted more. And I tried to find a way to fit fans back here, but I just couldn't. It's too small, the area for fitting the fans. And I have so much equipment, there's just no place to put a fan. But then I decided to make this rear seat delete a permanent accessory in the car. And once I did that, then I knew that I could find a place to mount fans. And so I have 4. I started with 4 of these 3-inch fans. They're USB fans. I picked them up in Amazon. So I have 2 here and 2 over here. And they did the trick. When I followed up with another test with the fans on, I keyed the transmitter and transmitted continuously, and after 30 minutes I just terminated the test because the temperature back there would not exceed 110 degrees. And so what's going on here is the air is being drawn in through the front here, where hopefully here's an air conditioning vent right here. So during the summer, maybe cooler air is being drawn in and then forced back to the back of the car. And I have actually cut exit holes in the back, and that'll probably make some of you cringe, but here, take a look. It's not so bad. The air that's pushed in or drawn in here is expelled there, and so that gives that hot air that's trapped in the trunk someplace to go. And some of that air, I mean, this is not an airtight fixture here, and so some of the air is going to leak out through these doors, and some of it may actually be escaping through the bumper. A lot of people don't understand or know that cars have vents built into the bumpers. That way when you slam the door, you don't have an excessive pressure buildup, or when you're running your ventilation, think about it. If you're recirculating your air, okay, your air is recirculating, but when you're drawing in fresh air, in order for fresh air to come in, the stale air has to go out. So where? It goes out through the bumper. And so some of this warm air that's being expelled or pushed out might be going out through the bumper. So not everything gets returned back into the interior of the car, but what does hopefully just gets recooled by the air conditioner. And so it seems to be working very well. When I added this power supply here, I decided to add 2 more fans. This thing gets really hot. I was surprised at how hot it gets. And so now I have a fan down here and another one over here at the corners, and that draws air from underneath. The corners here are actually open underneath, and so it's just a straight path for air to get drawn in, and that's just more air. Each of these fans draws 26 cubic feet per minute. And so for 6 of them, that is approximately 150 cubic feet per minute. And again, I recognize that not all of that air makes it back to the equipment, but it sure does do the trick. I can hear it if the engine is off, but it's not awful at all. It's just kind of a low rumble. Let me see if I can give you a demonstration here. Check this out. And so it's not bad. Actually, the traffic around me is worse than what these fans sound like when I'm inside the car. So, and then definitely if I'm driving or have the engine running, I can't hear the fans at all. So that's That'll give you an idea of their noise level. Now the fans don't run all the time. I have them set up on a series of switches and thermostats. I have two thermostats right behind the panel here, and one thermostat is set up, there's a sensor set up here in this power supply. It turns on a pair of fans when this chassis reaches 82 degrees. And it doesn't take long at all for that to happen. This thing gets really hot. And so one of the fans is right behind the power supply, and it's drawing air through the cooling fins and then on through the equipment here. The other 4 fans are triggered by 2 things. One, when I turn on a switch up in the front of the car to turn on my ham radios. And then 2, the other sensor for these fans is back. It sits right between my VHF, UHF transceiver and a regulated power supply. And both of those get kind of hot too. Not terribly hot, but hot enough to turn on this set of fans. So it dawned on me that, man, if the power supply is cool, but the transceiver is hot, then when these 4 fans kick on, the airflow is going to take the path of least resistance, which means that at least some, if not plenty, of my air is just going to come in here and then get pushed out through the fans over here on this side if they're not running. So I wanted a way to make it an all or none type of deal. The fans are made to be daisy chained. They sell in pairs, and they plug into a USB-A socket, and then there's a USB-A receptacle, a female, and it's made so you can daisy chain. Well, the way I have these wired up, I have 2 available females, and so I just got a USB-A male-to-male cable and then short-circuited the fans, which sounds dangerous, but it really isn't. And so now what happens is all 6 fans run during an either-or scenario. So if I'm running the ham radios and the radios are hot, then all 6 fans run. Or if this power supply is hot and my engine is running, then all 6 fans run. And that will run for up to 20 minutes after I shut down the engine, which is good for pushing any hot air out of the equipment space that may have collected for up to 20 minutes after I have parked the car. And so that seems to be working very well. Let me know if you have any questions. This is an oddball thing. This isn't something I expect most of my viewers to do, but maybe you're an overlander and have a system like this built into your truck, and you want to find a way to cool some equipment. Think about this. It works very well. I'm very pleased with the layout and its effectiveness. Feel free to post a question. I'll be glad to answer. And I won't answer the question of whether or not I'm crazy. I think you already know I am. So yeah, let's not go there. Anyway, I appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time. Take care.